Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Ilze Beverte from State Education Development Agency. I'm the Latvian National Project Coordinator of two R&D programs, Eureka and Eurostars 2. And today I shall introduce 4 instruments, including these programs I mentioned, which you can try to use to implement all the big plans and ideas which were emphasized in the previous presentation. The first programs, the SNEE instrument and Fast Track to Innovation, are mainly Horizon 2020 programs and not directly connected to national public funding. The SME instrument is targeted at all types of innovative SMEs with an ambition to develop, to grow, and have an international impact. And in these instrument projects and calls, only SMEs are allowed to apply for funding. It can be a single company or a consortium of several SMEs. The projects are market-oriented, should have an EU dimension. A bottom-up approach is permitted to define the topic of the project, while it should still address the societal challenges and or key enabling technologies. The level of development at the beginning of the phase 1 and 2 has to be technology readiness level 6. We shall have some more words on it. And the Horizon 2020 public funding rate for this instrument is 70%. These 3 phases are emphasized more closely here. The first phase, you submit and explain your feasibility of the concept, risk assessment, IPR regime, you search partners, and provide a study on design, and you can get a lump sum mentioned here, approximately for 6 months. The phase 2 considers innovation and R&D activities. The funding is much higher, up to 2.5 million euros from 12 to 24-month project. And you have to develop the prototype further, test it, deal with miniaturization, design, perform clinical trials. And you can apply for phase 2 funding without obligatory entering the phase 1. They are not obligatory connected. And the phase 3, where you can also apply for, is commercialization. But here you have no direct public funding. You get a lot of assistance, support via networking, training, coaching, knowledge sharing, dissemination, and a lot of advice that facilitates access to private finance. The second instrument provided by Horizon 2020 is Fast Track to Innovation. It is a kind of pilot activity, the only full bottom-up measure in Horizon 2020, promoting close to the market innovation activities that is open to all types of partners. It is public research organizations, private research organizations, institutes, enterprises. As well, this bottom-up logic is followed, and permanently open calls. The cutoffs, June is already over, June 1, but you can prepare and think about October 25 of this year. Innovation action funding rate is 70% for companies and 100% for non-profit organizations. The average grant, 2 million, but it can reach, in case of a very good project, up to 3 million. It allows only consortia of minimum 3, maximum 5 members with mandatory industry involvement, and industry should have the leading role. The level of development at the beginning, TRL 6, and development of the technology, product or service during the project up to the level 9. The project's proposal should include a business plan with market development strategy. The project should have a significant value creation at EU or global level, and should provide simultaneous technical and commercial planning. Time to market 36 months or less from the beginning of the project, close to the market projects, you see. Technology readiness level with which you have to enter the instrument for SMEs, which we considered here a little bit closer. The system or subsystem, model or prototype has to be already demonstrated its operability in a relevant environment, either high-fidelity laboratory or a simulated operational environment, and you further set a lot of questions what you can do in the project. And as a starting point, the technology readiness level 6. And more information on these instruments you can get in the Horizon 2020 overall webpage, the SMEs work program, fast track to innovation for the 2 years, and participant portal where you can get a lot of valuable manuals, study the application forms, and in general follow the calls, the dates of the calls and call planning, call fishes, and other documentation. Eureka Program is a program that deals with state aid based on Regulation 651, and it as a program has no direct Horizon 2020 public funding. It is an intergovernmental initiative which celebrated 30 years. It was started shortly before European Union Treaty was first signed in 1985 as a program facilitating international cooperation of all Europe enterprises and research institutions to develop marketable, innovative products, services, or processes. The program projects are transnational, aimed at market-driven innovative research and development, and they are supported financially by public administrations and public funding agencies. It means that it is state aid from member states' public resources, financial ones. The projects can be at any theme, the same bottom-up approach as in previous 2 instruments, including security. For long years, here was a remark, no topics on military developments, but recently it changed into words including security. There are more than 40 Eureka member countries. You can look more closely on them in the web page. The implementing institution at all European level is Eureka Secretariat, situated in Brussels. And the administrating body of this program in Latvia is State Education Development Agency, with its homepage with detailed information on these 2 programs, Eureka and Eurostars 2. Eurostars 2, the 2 means that it is already the 2nd stage of this program. The program is based and feeds from both national public funding and Horizon 2020 public funding. When Eureka, successfully having been operated for some 25 years, decided together with Horizon 2020 officials who are always present in Eureka meetings that there is an untouched or not sufficiently touched auditorium, innovative SMEs, a program Eurostars was launched in 2008. It is a program directly targeted at SMEs who are capable to perform innovations without assistance of research institutions or universities. The SMEs that are capable to update their product offer with innovative products and technologies, standing alone. But of course, participation of research institutions is permitted in the project, but the project has to be led by an innovative R&D performing SME. It is a joint, as I said, it is a joint program between Eureka and the European Commission, co-funded from national budgets and Horizon 2020. Horizon 2020 pays up to 25% from the public funding, directly paid to the national institution. And it gets these 25%. There are at present 34 Eurostars 2 participating states. The Secretariat at European level is the implementing body with practically the same web page where you can choose between Eureka or Eurostars, going to further links. And the administrating body in Latvia is also State Education Development Agency. Let us look at similarities and differences of these two programs. The similarities deal, here I tried to pull out the main features that characterize the programs. International Implementing Institution, it is the Secretariat. Target activities, also similar. It is international market-oriented research, innovations, R&D, close to the market. Eureka is slightly further from market, Eurostars very close. Main deliverable, innovative product, process or service, a prototype. Regulations at EU level are this regulation 651, conveniently available in internet on all national languages of European Union member states, and for Latvia, Latvian national regulation, Cabinet of Ministers 258 and 59. Participants relevant for state aid are enterprises and research and knowledge dissemination organizations, both public and private. Aid categories, the four famous categories. Everybody who has been striving for R&D project successful knows these categories by heart: fundamental research, industrial research, experimental development, and feasibility study. And the distribution of the costs between project participants is generated by Eureka Secretariat. No single entity is responsible for more than 75% of the project budget, or single entities from a member country. The project has to be balanced. Yes? And differences. The aim of Eureka is more general, facilitating the international cooperation of enterprises and research institutes, Eurostars, support of R&D performing small and medium-sized enterprises. Yes, these European stars, capable to perform R&D themselves, but of course, institution participation is also permitted. Sequence of the project preparation stages. In Eureka, you first undergo the national expertise and then submit, already without any elements of competition, an international project application form. Eurostars first is performed the international stage. You upload in a dedicated web page created and kept by Eureka Secretariat a large project application form. 2 times a year are calls, and then when you have received a Eureka Secretariat letter that the project is above threshold, you take this letter and go to your national funding body and perform further the national procedure. The project leader, enterprise, micro, small, medium, large, or research and knowledge dissemination organization. In Eurostars, only R&D performing innovative SME. The distribution of costs, as I said, in Eureka, practically any. Only this condition of a balanced project has to be ensured. In Eurostars, the budget, excluding subcontracting, of R&D performing SMEs located in Eurostars participating states or partner countries has to be equal or higher, 30% of total project budget. Yes, the role of innovative SMEs has to be considerable. Evaluation, Eureka National, Eurostars International, largely based on expert database of Horizon 2020. Here are some details about Latvian state aid for Latvian participants. A Latvian participant per year, 60,000 euros, and here 70,000 euros. Funding sources, public, national, and private. This private or self-input, and here 3, public, national, Horizon 2020, and private. Commercialization, 3 years after the end of the project. Here 2. The program is much closer to market. The targets quickly. The European star innovates and quickly provides Europe and world with competitive products. And here are our contact data. On first 2 instruments, please contact Juris Balodis in our agency, and the other 2 programs, I am responsible for consultations. Thank you for attention.